that we have said we are sending the final messenger to all of mankind. We are not talking about the children of Israel anymore. We are not talking about just those who follow Jesus. We are not talking about just that line of Isaac. The prophet is given a noble gift to be the last prophet, bringing the word of the truth for all of mankind. And so he is given a sign of the splitting of the moon so that all of mankind can see. Some believed, some disbelieved. The moon was split and the moon was returned. Go look through the ancient text and see 1500 some years ago in ancient Japan or China, do they notice the splitting of the moon? The information is always there, as a story of the truth can never be a lie. And the truth must always be easily available to all those who search. Now, to go through the story quickly, because I want to tell you the truth of the light so that you know it. We have to go through the story quickly because it is so long and deep, and there's so much information that I can't tell you everything. They have tried to destroy the prophet. At one point, they even tried to kill him. As we know, the last messenger who bore the light was almost to be killed by those who rejected Jesus, son of Mary. But before he was to be killed, what happened? He ascended as God had destined. And so the messenger of Allah, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, they, the people of Mecca and the leaders of the tribe, had decided that it is now time to get rid of this person, otherwise he will destroy our ways. And so they plotted to kill him. But the prophet escaped, and to make a long story short, we can't get into all the details of the story that are even crazier. As I said, the truth of the light and the weirdness of the tale is always stranger than any fiction. But there are parts that we can't go into. But the prophet escaped, and you can read about how it was done. And he went to a new city called Medina, where they welcomed him. A city called Yathrib, actually, and then later on it became known as Medina, or City of the Prophet. And there they began to continue to give the message and preach the word of the light and the story of the fundamentals. There is only one God, there are angels, there are jinns, there are prophets with messages of the word. I am the seal of the prophets, giving you the word of the Lord, the Quran. All of mankind lives, all of mankind dies. We will be raised one day on the day of judgment by your Lord Most High, and there is no one who can be the judge other than him, and there is punishment, reward in heaven and hell. We've been through the fundamentals, and I keep repeating them so that you understand, because it's an important part of the story. But it is at this point something even more dramatic has to occur. If we have said that the truth of the prophet must be there in all the signs, then we must know that the prophet, of course, had received dreams of the light and understood the meaning of the dreams, just like Joseph did. The prophet, of course, had communicated with Gabriel and seen the angels and had been given the word, but we'll get to the Quran in a little bit in this story. But we get to a point that is very, very dramatic. It is at this point that we get to a story, and I will tell it with quick detail so that you understand the truth. We get to the point in the story where the prophet, for the first time of mankind, of all of the sons of Adam, no one has ever ascended other than Jesus, son of Mary. And the prophet is blessed with a noble occasion. The night journey and ascension of the Prophet Muhammad. Now listen to the story because it tells you all of the tales. From his home in Medina, he is taken in body and put and told by the angel Gabriel and shown one of the other creations that Allah, the Lord Most High, has made, which is a horse with wings that is able to fly. And upon that, he goes from Medina, the city of the prophet where? He goes to the holy house in Jerusalem, because at this point on the earth, the pagans are still in control of the holy house of Abraham. And there are evil, idol-worshipping people there. Even though the Lord's name, Allah, is still being said, the only true house of the Lord on this earth at that moment, being worshipped to the one true God, is the house of Solomon in Jerusalem. Because the Jews, even though they have become misguided and disorganized and in disarray and have even rejected Christ, they have not forgot the one fundamentals. And I'm telling you this as a beauty of the story to those who call themselves Jews. They had remembered the fundamental of the light, which is what? There is only one God. And so the Muslims respected that as the holy place on the earth. Surprising part of the story that you wouldn't hear from people. But I'm telling you this story as part of the truth. Forget the labels and just see if it makes sense in the whole story. But this is what all those who call themselves Muslims believe. There, when the Prophet arrived at the holy house in Jerusalem, this is where everybody who teaches you that the message of the Prophet Muhammad is different than the chain in the story that we have told you is untrue. And the proof of what? The blessing that Muhammad was shown on that night should make the story clear for all of you who are searching for the light. There in the holy house of worship to the Lord, the only house of worship in existence on the earth, worshiping only the Lord Most High, the temple that Solomon had built and what is remaining of it, there the Prophet was greeted by a most noble and amazing gift that no prophet had been given to this time. We said that each prophet must be given something more amazing and strange. There in the holy temple, when he arrived with Gabriel and got off this animal that we called buraq, which in Arabic means lightning, an animal that moves from one place in the earth to another place in the earth, and it's called lightning. Perhaps we should be looking to the skies. The Prophet descended from this ride that Allah, the Lord Most High, had made, as Allah, the Lord Most High, is the creator of everything that is in the universe. All that is in the universe. He is the Lord Most High. There in the holy temple, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, found every single prophet of the light there within the temple. Can you imagine the beauty and the majesty of that occasion? Every single prophet, from Adam and Noah, and all those in the tale that we have recounted, and those who we have not, in the long story that is the truth of the light, all of them who bore the word, La ilaha illallah, which means what? There is only one God. He is not an image, a triangle, a symbol, or anything that the mind can imagine. He is great and holy and above all of his creation. The only way to understand him is to know of the light. There the Prophet prayed with all of the believers that the Lord Most High had sent, from all of the descendants of Adam. I have told you, ladies and gentlemen, so many times to stay focused on the story. This is a war of light versus darkness, between good versus evil, between those who believe in the light and those who seek to misdirect you and deceive you with the dark. And so there, the final messenger gathered with all the believers of the light, and he stood before all of them and led them all in prayer. And all of them in the noble house that Solomon had built including Solomon himself and all of the prophets, bowed their head and worshiped the Lord Most High. Can you imagine the magnanimous nature of the story of the truth that you are hearing?